Or I have to question, is having 3 martinis too much? Well, if you ask the question, that means it's probably too much.
Here we are once again to Yes, I'm Still Sober podcast with John Rabin, episode 14. 14 already. That's like 7 hours of talking. Hi everybody, hope you're having a good week. I'm having an okay week. I visited with one of my oldest friends, had coffee with earlier. She listened to the podcast, but she mentioned that she had heard the podcast, the Clown Interrupted podcast with Kiki Maroon, who I posted it on my Facebook page, or it's like I'm tagged in it. She interviews comedian, burlesque, dancer in Houston's interviews people who are sober. Like her first episode was with Andy Huggins. You should check that out, and then maybe listen to mine. I would say download it and at least listen to it until you get tired of me. But my friend told me that it was like a really good podcast. The interaction between Kiki and myself as being interviewed, I guess. Asked me if I thought about interviewing people, and I thought about it, and I may do that on occasion, but I don't know. It's it made me think. I'm like, well, I'm being interviewed in that. I don't know. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I do a podcast where I have a guest every week, but they interview me. The most egotistical podcast ever. I am not that interesting, but that is hilarious to me. That's an idea. Oh, what a fucking waste of time that would be. Would it be any bigger than this? I don't know. But that's just like, why would I do that to people? Like just hey, would you like to come onto my podcast and interview me? Really? So I've got to come up with questions? Yeah. Can you do all the work? It's an idea. I don't know. There's this thing. It's trying to find a balance, because I've gotten to a point in my life where I know who I am. I'm comfortable with the kind of jokes that I write and the comedian that I am. And I'm a very distinctive personality in who I am. Like there's nobody really like me. But my marketing is for shit, and I'm aware of that. And that has to do with the fact that I'm 44. I really do think that I'm like set, that I just can't do branding. That's it. Branding, really, I can't just do that kind of thing, like jump through the hoops, because it just seems cheap, a lot of the things, because it's amazing to me that it's not about the quality of content anymore with getting noticed. If you ever want to just roll your eyes and just go, Jesus, go to YouTube and click on trending videos and see what's trending, because there's always just some video where teenagers are doing stuff to fruit. And I don't mean like sexual stuff. I just mean whatever. There's all kinds of weird, like, hey, this is what I did with a soda bottle. And it's got millions of views. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy what gets attention, what gets noticed. But, I don't know. It's with like no quality content to it whatsoever, or just people's, YouTube video bloggers, talking about a breakup, getting millions of views. Now those are obviously, teenagers, and kids that use YouTube that do that. But you think about that. You think about but also, like, for example, I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube and I ended up watching a couple of like clips from Family Feud, of all fucking things, and one clip made me laugh harder than any other comedian that I've seen this year, which is just kind of depressing. That just random people on a game show doing something dumb without trying was way funnier than planned material. That tends to be disheartening when you're trying to create, and I'm using air quotes here, art. I mean, it is, but also, when you're sitting there thinking about it, you're like, is it? It is, but is it? So, but like the branding thing, like I was, when and I may have mentioned this last week, I don't remember what I say, but in Chicago, we went to an open mic, which I say was the real birthday gift for my girlfriend. Yeah, I'll sit through an open mic. Whoof. But because I don't like to sit through open mics here. But, oh man, there was this one comedian, she goes up and and she starts her set with, I like to say that my brand is, and it was so generic that I can't remember what she said. And it's only been, a week and a half? Yeah, it's been a week and 2 days, and I still already forgot what her brand is. And the fact that she opened that, I just went, Jesus. No, your brand is that you're trying to get into Second City, you do improv, and now you also do stand-up because that looks good on a resume. That's your brand. And you know what? You're not the only one that does this. You're a white female in her mid-20s that does improv and stand-up. You're not the only one of those. You kind of need something more to stand out. That can't be your whole thing. There was a person who went up, really tall dude in a dress who declared himself non-binary, and so refer to me as they, and that's fine. But that was their act. That was it. It was just that. There were no jokes. And the thing about it was, I know at least 3 people that also go by they and that are non-binary, but they have jokes. You can't run on brand alone, especially when you're just narrowing it down to one aspect of yourself. It's weird. But to be fair, these are people in their mid-20s. They're gonna figure this shit out, or they'll quit. That's what they do. You figure out who you are on stage, or you quit at some point. I did the same thing. When I was like early 20s, I did what every other single white dude in the late 90s trying stand-up was me. I'm going to be the next Bill Hicks. Ooh, look at me and my soapbox. I'm going to blaze a trail on this paved road that people have been. Like, it's funny to me when you just see that. There was another open micer went up and like, ooh, I'm going to be the comic. I'm going to be the white dude comic that says edgy shit. I'm going to push the envelope. Dude, there's been stand-up comedy for 40 plus years. There's no envelope there. You're not going to come out and say something that hasn't already been said, so better make it funny. And he wasn't. But he pushed that envelope that's in his head. So, but yeah, I did that's the thing. I did the same thing in my 20s. I'm like, ooh, look at me, going to be edgy and shocking. Look everyone, he's smoking on stage. That means that he's a bad boy. Like it was I'm so glad that YouTube's wasn't around in 98. And that or digital video of any kind. Because that would be really hard to watch. Like, I'm glad that I drank away memory from 20 years ago. I really am. I'm glad that it's just this fuzzy something happened then. I don't remember. Were you funny when you first started? Sure. All right, maybe. I got booked. That doesn't mean anything. There were very few comics. Everybody moved to LA, and the rest of us, there were like 12. So, yeah, I got really lucky. I think that my thing is that I don't... Where do I find the balance between the lack of giving a fuck and actually doing things? Like, I have to... Because it's very freeing to not care about fame and to not, and to try to push off from the attention addiction of social media and and what we're like now in our current culture climate, I guess. It's nice to just want to write jokes and perform them where I can, and make, next month, make my album available. But, and to not care about some of the aspects of the, advertising and promotion to the point of annoyance. Like, I'd rather not promote in ways that I find annoying when I see other people promote their shit. Like when you get an invite on Facebook to like a page that somebody created, that you're like, really? Are we still creating Facebook pages for things now? Are we still doing that? I'm not going to go over there. I'm not going to... Like, I follow you. You already promote it on your page. You got to create a second page for this thing that you already promote. Like, I'm not going to do that. So when I see people do that, like, I think about that when it comes to when I see suggestions or have people suggest, oh, you should try this, or you should do this with when you release your album, you should submit this to, for review, have somebody review it. And I'm like, I don't want a fucking comedy critic going, I'm going to give this 2.5 stars because, he's got potential, but, it could have done, I'm like, fuck you. I'll rather have 10 less people buy the album than to have some dipshit review me. Like, I just have things like that. Things I don't want to do versus that I find just annoying and ridiculous. And I know that sometimes you got to play the game. But what if you don't like the game? What if you just want to do your thing and play the game your own way? I would just rather put this podcast out every week and have my small following than have to add a bunch of things that might garner additional downloads or whatever. Like, it's like, hey, if you did this, you thought about a sidekick. I don't want a fucking sidekick in here. So, like, get my cat involved maybe. But I don't know. But where's that balance? That's funny. She heard the word cat and started, I can hear her collar, the bell on her collar jingling, which means she's coming over here. The cat. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like sometimes that I don't know. I feel exhausted when I think about things that I could be doing additionally to promote my brand or to whatever. It just that has to do with the age and the fact that I've been doing comedy for as long as I have. I just don't, it just feels like, nah, let the kids jump through hoops. I'd rather make fun of the hoops. I'd rather point at the hoops and laugh. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I just lack the focus. And the thing is that my stepmom thinks that, because it's just like that I'm a lot like my dad, and we have more than likely both he and I have the same kind of ADHD thing, where we just kind of lack that that focus. And it's funny because my youngest brother has medication for ADHD or something in that field. My dad accidentally took his medication one day. It was like he was going to take his normal like heart medication or something, and he ended up taking that. It wasn't Ritalin, but it was something like it. And he goes, "Oh no," kind of by mistake. But apparently, he said, "I tell you what, I was calm and focused the entire day. Like it really, like he could probably start taking ADHD medication, you know." And so I get that. I'm like, yeah, because we were talking about that like last year, I think, about how, have you ever considered that? Like maybe that might help. And the thing is that I kind of deep down inside know that kind of medication might actually benefit me. But the problem with that is it's speed, man. And I know that it's a prescription drug that helps certain people, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm still, it's like, I feel like I forfeited the opportunity to take a prescription that might benefit me at this point, being an ex-junkie and alcoholic. Like I just know I don't want to risk. To me, it's not worth the risk of doing a drug when that's like one step closer back to abusing said drug, and one step closer to what I used to do, like those behavior patterns. And I just don't think that it's worth it to me to be a little bit more productive, because I'm fine. I'm functional. I'm doing great. Like, oh, I could maximize my potential by risking getting back into addictive behavior. Nah, I don't think so. It's too bad, but also I don't want to get into that realm. I can't do it. So, anyway, yeah. So that's kind of the struggles, how to push myself, how to recognize when something's just dumb, or am I using that same attitude to not do something that I probably could do. And I think that's the real challenge is trying to figure out, is this something that I'm avoiding doing, or is this something that's just fucking annoying that I'm not going to do? I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I guess that's where I'm at. I'll mention this one thing. It's today. There's an article on CNN. Man, CNN sucks. They're just really, it's not fake news. It's just poor. It's just, the quality is low, but the article is called "While America Wages War on Opioids, Meth Makes Its Comeback." And I think my first reaction to that was, are we waging war against opioids? I think that the headline should be, "While America notices that they have a problem with opioids, meth makes its comeback." I think that would be more accurate, because just recognizing, hey, there's an opioid crisis isn't fixing shit. So I don't know if waging war would be a very good, I don't know, kind of just like the war on drugs, I guess. But as we declare war and do nothing. But apparently, as we do nothing about opioids, meth is on the rise. So because of it's apparently cheaper and easier to get now, with super labs in Mexico making large quantities of it. So instead of rednecks blowing themselves up in trailers in Oklahoma, now you have mass production by the cartels in Mexico. So that's an issue. And now we know that maybe we should pay attention to meth too. I don't know. Of course, I don't hang out around drugs, nearly as much as I used to, obviously. But I mean, I know that I know people that enjoy coke. It's part of the partying process. I wonder if it's still, if we're back to actual cocaine, because for a while there, it was like, yeah, we did a couple of lines last night, and then I stayed up all night. I'm like, well, that wasn't coke, motherfucker. That's meth. A couple lines of coke doesn't keep you up for 8 hours. That's the other one. So, enjoy, I guess. Careful. But so I wonder if that's still the case. I wonder if people still try to get coke and they end up with meth. And if you're fine with that, I don't know. You should just take it easy, man. I don't know. How do you even know anymore? But one last thing I wanted to mention before I get out of here is that I'd like to take a moment to mourn the loss of the legendary Sandstone Apartments here in Austin. Which is the apartment complex I live in. I don't mean to let everybody know where I am, but the Sandstone Apartments is kind of infamous because at one point we had 20 comedians living here. And this had to do with our friend Joe, who was the apartment manager. So obviously he's going to hook up people he knows when he was managing here, and then he's no longer here. And then we went through quite the management crisis over the past year or so. But apparently, the letter I got was, effective today, Sandstone 1, that's the one I live in, has sold, and Roscoe Properties has been appointed as the new managing agent. Now, Roscoe Properties manages a fuck ton of places in Austin. And if you look at their Google reviews, they have 1.5 stars. People are not happy with them because they're a big corporation that sucks, apparently. But yeah, so my apartment complex is no longer called Sandstone. It's now going to be a volume number 7, Volume Apartments, which I've never heard anybody say anything positive about. It's an apartment complex that I stay in. That's kind of sad, but I don't know. We'll see. My thought is that a larger management corporation is taking over the duties from a shitty management. So it's like, okay, so if they do less, is that better than doing things poorly? We shall see. I've got my lease till next summer, and I know that next summer when it comes around to renew my lease, it's gonna get jacked way up, and I may have to leave at that point. But it's a sad day in the comedy community of, or at least part of us, because it's like my roommate said, we're in a post-Sandstone comedy now. It's a new era. But R.I.P. Sandstone. I know none of you give a shit, but it's kind of this place had a history. It was definitely. I have an apartment full of furniture that comedians have abandoned to move to New York and L.A. Like I have the chest of drawers of one of the hosts of the podcast Come Town. I have couches and a love seat. I have a love seat and a table and a chest of drawers, and just like I have all this shit from people who live in New York now. So, and I'm not the only one. It's like stuff just gets passed down to other people, and it's just been a tradition, and it's sad that it's going away. But why should the place that I live be any different from the rest of Austin and get bought up and expanded and pushed out and all that stuff? So it's just another sign of growth. Yeah. Damn, man. Well, that's all I've got. I really, yeah. I also realized that while looking at all the people on scooters riding around, that you can tell the city is too white. Because if there was more black people around, I think people would use scooters less. They're like, because when you see people on scooters, the first thing I think of is, man, you know what I miss? Shame. I miss shame. It's used to, you're like, I'm not going to do that. No, this is fun. You should jump on. Nah. I don't want to look uncool. Apparently, that's okay now. Apparently, you want to look as much like a cuck as possible. I guess that's if you're, I know that word's been thrown around by conservatives to piss off progressives, but man, I can't think of a better description of seeing a dude on a scooter than cuck. Fuck your scooters, man. All right. Yeah. Okay. We'll end with that positive thing. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Later.
Red wine, a little smoke, a whole lot of loving. That's all I need. Make it through the night. Cold beer, cold shoulder, just one glass of whiskey. That's all it takes. Push me over the line. Set 'em up, I'll knock 'em down. Wake me up when it's all over. Took less than that to make my heart